What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this, we have India can fight like nobody else in this region. Before we dive in, if you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to smash subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit that join button and receive your exclusive benefits. Now let's dive right in.
On October 20th, 1962, every Indian was stunned. Something unthinkable was happening, an invasion no one saw coming. It wasn't Pakistan. It wasn't a colonial power. It was China. In a sudden strike across the icy Himalayas, Indian forces found themselves unprepared. The military was disorganized, poorly equipped, and above all, inexperienced in the brutal art of high-altitude warfare. China swiftly captured the Aksai Chin region. Despite India's resistance, the war ended in China's favor, and to this very day, Beijing still holds that territory. India lost around 1,400 soldiers, while China, though catching India completely off guard, still paid with 700 lives. But here's where the story takes a remarkable turn. Instead of bowing to defeat, India chose to transform. From that moment, it committed itself to mastering the deadliest battlefield on Earth, the frozen peaks of the Himalayas, to fight at altitudes so extreme that even superpowers hesitate. And today, India...
I ain't fighting in no Himalayas, bro. If you can fight in the Himalayas, you can fight anywhere. And I firmly believe that because that environment, no, that's not suitable for human life, bro. That's insane.
Stands as perhaps the most formidable military force in high-altitude warfare. But what makes me say that? And how exactly did India achieve what seemed impossible? Consider this your exploration alert, because the most fascinating part of this video is waiting for you at the end. Some of the information is so sensitive that if we posted it here, YouTube could ban this channel instantly. That's why we share the real, unfiltered details only on our Telegram channel, where nothing gets censored. If you want the complete picture, join us there. See you inside. Imagine fighting in a place so hostile that even boiling an egg is impossible. At these extreme altitudes, the boiling point of water drops from 100 degrees to just 80, or even 70 on the slopes of Mount Everest. Why does this matter? Because if you stay at such heights, your body begins to break down. Headaches, nausea, crushing fatigue, and in the worst cases, swelling of the brain that can push a soldier into a coma. This is not just a battlefield, it's a death zone. Now add the elements of combat. At high altitude, every bullet flies differently. Artillery loses range, and helicopters struggle to stay airborne. Even radios and electronics can fail in the thin, freezing air. What should be a simple patrol becomes a fight for every breath. And in such a place, the environment itself kills more soldiers than the enemy. So here's the billion-dollar question. If most people can barely walk a few steps without gasping for air, how can India expect its soldiers to fight, maneuver, and survive in this environment?
That's what I'm saying. To be able to adapt to that environment is bonkers to me. He said most people struggle just to breathe. You're fighting for your breath to breathe. Yet they adapted and figured out not only how to breathe, but how to run, how to fight in these conditions.
The answer lies in geography. India has no choice. Its greatest threats, from China in the north to Pakistan in the west, loom across the towering Himalayas. These peaks are not just natural barriers, they are the very front lines of India's defense. And over decades, India has devised a master strategy, what can only be described as a two-pronged plan, to dominate these unforgiving battlefields. India's military doctrine is unusual and brutally practical. While some armies chase stealth and electronic dominance, India built weapons to do one thing: function where the air itself fights you. Helicopters, guns, rockets, and tanks all behave differently when the sky is thin. That's why India didn't simply copy foreign designs, it developed platforms tuned for the Himalayas. Take the light combat helicopter Prachan. India operates Apaches, yes, but Prachan was designed specifically to survive and fight at extreme altitudes. Flying an Apache up there isn't impossible, But reduced air density makes helicopters far less stable and far less forgiving. It's like racing a supercar on frozen asphalt. It will work in theory, but in a real fight, you risk losing control. Prachand, by contrast,
you definitely don't want that. Definitely. But for India to create these weapons to fight in the Himalayas, that's absolutely incredible. We know ain't nobody effing with them in the Himalayas, bro. Don't try to. They built weapons specifically for that.
was conceived with mountain warfare in mind. Shorter takeoffs, better high altitude handling, and systems optimized for thin air. Many argue Prachand outperforms older designs in its niche, and that's a debate for the flight deck. Then there's firepower built to dominate peaks. The Pinaka multi-barrel rocket system gives massive rapid saturation strikes that can turn a rocky ridge into a smoking ruin. When paired with Dhanush 155mm howitzers for longer, more economical reach, Indian artillery can both pound enemy positions and sustain a long campaign. The BrahMos supersonic missile, once a headline grabber, showed how precision and shock can reshape a fight. Now similar logic is applied to mountain strike systems. For air defense, the upgraded Akash Prime is India's cost-effective answer to protect troops and forward bases, where maintaining a high-altitude radar picture is brutally...
You get hit with that, bro. You're saying hello to your maker before you know what happened, bro. You're disintegrated. There's just ash. Look at that missile.
Hard. And to move heavy punch down narrow, treacherous mountain tracks, India is developing light, agile, armored vehicles like the Zorawar, a tank meant to climb where conventional tanks simply cannot. Add dozens of specialized drones, anti-tank guided missiles tuned for steep approaches, and mountain-trained infantry units, and you get a force engineered for a single truth: domination at altitude. But the deadliest, most decisive tool of all, the one that changes the calculus of mountain warfare entirely, waits in the next section. Stay with me. Picture yourself on patrol in the Himalayas, 6,000 meters above sea level. Now remember, Indian soldiers don't just climb that high. They patrol from 3,500 meters all the way up to nearly 7,000. At such altitudes, the air holds less than 40% of the oxygen you breathe at sea level. Every step feels like dragging a mountain on your back. Your head throbs with the worst pain of your life. Concentration fades, memory slips, and breathing becomes a desperate struggle. Your lungs fill with fluid, your brain swells, your heart races, and as your body collapses, you still face temperatures plunging to minus 40 degrees. Frostbite, hypothermia, and relentless winds add another layer of danger. One misstep, one lost moment of focus, and disaster can strike. Every second in that environment is torture. Yet Indian soldiers don't just survive there. They fight. They hold positions. They fought battles in conditions where most armies wouldn't even stand. Now, I know some may laugh when they hear me call them super soldiers, but I chose that title intentionally because while nations like the US rely on powerful stimulants and enhancers, drugs that allow pilots to stay focused for 38 hours straight, Indian troops endure the most extreme...
Drugs that allow pilots to stay focused for 38 hours straight? How healthy is that for your brain? Like, as amazing as that sounds, that absolutely sounds like a health risk to focus that long.
Environment on Earth with nothing but training, discipline, and sheer willpower. Where others lean on laboratories and hormones, Indian soldiers rely on grit, tradition, and an iron mind. And here's the remarkable part. While they endure today, India is preparing for tomorrow. The DRDO is developing advanced systems to make high-altitude warfare sustainable. Battery-heated clothing, hybrid oxygen medical systems, and specialized gear designed to protect soldiers from permanent damage at extreme altitude. Add to this new thermal camouflage uniforms, portable survival shelters, and cutting-edge battlefield equipment. And the Indian soldier of the future won't just endure the Himalayas. He will dominate them like a predator in the snow. If you want to dive deeper into
Yeah.
India's elite special forces,
Hey.
check out the video linked below. And remember, without your support, none of this journey would be possible. Make your voice louder, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for standing with us. It's always an honor to take you to the roof of the world. This is Caspian Insight, signing off.
They move so in sync, so like a unit, so they move as one. Like it's insane to see. Like it's amazing. I believe, yeah, in India, I said in so many videos, India looks like the leader of the future. That's all I'm saying. Right now, it feels like there's so much potential, and their potential is limitless, in that they don't have a ceiling, and so they're gaining influence around the world. They're getting stronger. And yeah, you don't want to see India in the Himalayas. I done see multiple videos. That's the last place you want to see India at, because you will not win. It's not gonna go well for you. It's already gonna be tough fighting India in the first place, but in the Himalayas, no chance. That's all we got. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. Check out the